welcome back. In this session, I wanted to talk about equipment and specifically studio equipment. Now, even though the first thing you heard on this video was a guitar, okay, that doesn't really count as studio equipment, not in this day and age anyway, all right? So the reason for that is because to be a musician these days, you don't necessarily have to play an instrument. So you need to have a good understanding of music, there's no doubt about it. You need to actually have access to a musical instrument, whether that be a real session musician or software. But what we want to talk about here in this video is basically equipment. So what kind of equipment do you need? 5 main pieces of equipment that are needed in a studio, a home studio like this one, okay? So the first thing you're gonna need is a computer. So we need a place to store and to edit and to record and to do all the good stuff that we do, produce basically songs and music. And it all happens on a computer these days, right? So either PC or Apple, that'll be your first decision to make. Which platform are you more comfortable on? Okay, they're both equal in my opinion. So it used to be Apple for all the creative stuff, you know, whether it was music or whether it was, you know, the crazy drawing and architectural stuff and the Photoshop and all that stuff was always Apple. But now PC is just as fast, just as powerful. So I've got a PC myself, and you want to look at the CPU. Okay, the RAM is super important, especially if you're planning to have a high track count. If you've got a lot of tracks, a lot of plugins in your DAW, you're gonna need a lot of RAM and a fast drive, like an SSL drive, okay? So a fast CPU, an SSL drive, a nice big one, because believe me, you run out of storage really quick, okay? So get the biggest one you can afford, lots of RAM, fast CPU, can't go wrong, okay? So that's the first thing, a computer, okay? The next thing you're gonna need is a DAW or DAW. A digital audio workstation. And this is a piece of software that will allow you to record music, okay? And then edit it, and you can put plugins on there like compression, EQ, reverbs, whatever, okay? And mix your music, and that's that whole platform, whichever one you choose, there's a lot of them. They basically all do the same thing, they just do it in different ways. You gotta find the one that you are more comfortable with. So there's Cubase, Pro Tools is the one that the pros use, okay? That's the one you're gonna see in all major studios, Pro Tools. There's Cubase, there's Logic. I use Reaper, okay? And I've talked about Reaper in the previous video, but Reaper is the one for me because I've got particular needs, because my focus is not engineering, it's not mixing, it's not mastering, okay? It's songwriting. So for songwriting, Reaper for me is the best. And I keep saying that I'm gonna do this, and I will do it. I will do a video showcasing Reaper and going through all the features and why it's amazing for songwriters. I'm gonna do that. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it yet, but I will, okay? All right, so pick one and go with it. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. As long as you're comfortable with it, get to know it, understand it, and go for it. The next thing you're gonna need is an audio interface. So the audio interface is going to allow you to go from this to the computer. It's the gateway. Now, most audio interfaces come with preamps already built into them. Okay, now this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but there's a lot of different audio interfaces, okay? I've gone through a lot over the years. One of the most popular ones is the Scarlett 2i2. It's a 2-input and 2-out monitor out. Okay, so you have monitor outputs, monitoring, basically, outputs to monitor, to connect your speakers, your monitors, and you have 2 inputs, okay? And that's it. Then the USB cable, which connects to your computer. All the audio gets converted from analog to digital with AD converters, and then back from the computer to the speakers from digital to analog, DA. So this is the conversion. So when you're looking this stuff up and you're trying to buy one, they'll be talking about those specs. Don't worry about them, okay? The audio conversion today is amazing. So even the cheap ones do a pretty good job, especially if you're just going to be writing songs and, producing them in-house and just, playing for friends or whatever, or for yourself. The quality is more than good enough. So just pick one and go with it. Don't worry about it too much. But the next one you want to worry about a little bit because it's a little bit more important than audio conversion, and that's a microphone. So the mic is the first part of your signal chain, okay? After the source, which is, a singer, a guitar, whatever it is, you're gonna put a mic in front of whatever it is that you're gonna record. Well, that is pretty important. But the good news is that you can get some amazing mics, even between the $100 and $300 range. You can get incredible mics from Rode, Audio-Technica makes incredible mics, Samson, Shure makes amazing dynamic mics. So you can really have an incredible selection of microphones within a pretty cheap range. But of course, there are microphones that are very expensive and you can hear the difference. Don't think that it's just a brand thing or whatever, okay? Dollars are connected to quality, in my humble opinion. A lot of people have different opinions on this, but I've tried a lot of different mics. I've tried the really high-end ones. I've tried the cheap ones. I've tried everything in between, okay? So there is a difference. Go with your ear. Go with what you can afford, but that is the next item on the must-have list for a home studio, okay? And the last thing is monitoring. So when we're talking about monitoring, we're talking about two things. First of all, speakers that the sound actually comes out of, and headphones. So both are very important because you need the headphones for recording. If you're going to be recording your vocal, acoustic guitar, any kind of source, really, you want to have that isolation and you want to hear exactly what's going on. So headphones are really important. And again, the market is saturated, okay? So there's so much competition these days and prices are really amazing. You can get some amazing headphones at really good prices. AKG makes some really nice headphones, really, really good. Bear Dynamic are really good. There's quite a few brands out there. So check it out, see which ones are comfortable. Comfort is very important, especially if you're gonna be recording for a lengthy period. You want that comfort. You don't wanna be sweaty and your head all tight. So wear them, make sure they're comfortable and the sound is good and right, and go for it. Now for monitors, there's a humongous selection of monitors, okay? I've got Focals. I love Focals. Focal has an incredible range. They're a bit on the higher end price-wise, but there's a lot of affordable monitors that sound amazing. KRK are incredible monitors. They make a huge range of monitors. A lot of pros use KRKs, and they're not very heavily priced, okay? Mackie make very good monitors as well. Alesis, whatever it is, they make really good monitors too. There's a lot on the market. These would be powered monitors, okay? So you'd go from your audio interface, straight out of the outputs from the back, right into the monitors, and you're good to go. Plug and play. That's it. Very simple. You don't need an external amplifier because they got pre-built amplifiers. So they're basically powered internally. And so guys, that's pretty much it. Those are the 5 main pieces that you need to focus on for a home studio, something like this. Okay? I've had so many studios over the years, so many home studios, it's ridiculous. It started with a Fostex X26 4-track recorder some 25 years ago. Okay, and I've never looked back, and it's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful space to have. You know, you come in here and shut the door and you're good to go. I love it. It's like my little sanctuary. So I hope you guys can get one for yourself as well. I hope this helped clarify and just simplify this whole thing of a home studio. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be this over-the-top production. It doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay, it's nice to have, it's a beautiful thing to press record and get your ideas into the computer where you can edit them, you can muck around with them, you can experiment with drums and bass and all kinds of things, virtual instruments, there's so many online. It's really awesome. It's another creative outlet besides just having your guitar or your piano or whatever instrument you play and just playing it just like that without recording it, which is great, it's fun, but this is the next level. So I hope that helped you out, and until next time, take care.